She not only ran the socks off, the spikes off Brianna's feet, she also ran them off Elaine's feet, finishing second.
Hey trackies, welcome back to yet another video here on TXT Track Time. So trackies, go ahead and smash that like button and of course subscribe to the channel if you've yet to do so. Also track fans, head on over to Instagram and Twitter and follow us there as well. I'll put that up on the screen. Now with that said, Kemba Nelson, wow, we are really we have a lot of riches here in Jamaica. Like it's crazy. So another fantastic female athlete on the Jamaican side, Kemba Nelson, had a really, I would say, a breakout internationally season this year. But it didn't come as a surprise to us because we did say that based on what we were seeing, potentially, and this was from last season, not last season, but last year, we did say that potentially she would definitely be someone that will come up and possibly chump Brianna, and that happened. So a fantastic season from her. Tom, tell me your
Trump
thoughts.
Brianna in at the
National trials, yeah,
at the trials. Okay.
yeah.
Well,
Um,
right. So there are a number of things. So for Kemba, she was on our radar. There were things about her racing technique that we loved. That ability, it's the race is just 100 meters. When you're able to start your race so effectively, you have already won at least 40%, which is exactly why Brianna herself does so well. 40% of your race is already working in your favor, and it's just about finishing strong. And then a couple of the races that she did in NCAA leading up to the national trials, we saw her executing, a good top end speed. So she had this one race that was a win aided 10-8-5 or something like that. But separate from that, in the NCAA final, she was favored to win. She finished second running, I don't know, I think a 10-9. She finished second. So she was definitely bubbling. At the national trials, she not only ran the socks off, the spikes off Brianna's feet, she also ran them off Elaine's feet, finishing second. So I just want to mention her social media as well. Her whole social media was leading up to this time. She had she had this backdrop saying something about Oregon 2022, at least for maybe 2 years. She was it was her vision board. And track is, in life, if you want to achieve something, I have a vision board somewhere about here. If you want to achieve something, you write it down, you pray about it, you speak it into being. And we saw a lot of that. And then of course you put in the hard work, and we saw a lot of that from Kemba this season, and it worked in her favor. She went to the World Championships racing on home soil. I expected to see a better performance. She could have been just burnt out from the long season. Honestly, she did run indoors, NCAA, then, of course, all of those division competitions, then NCAA finals, and then, of course, she had to come to Jamaica and run the race of her life to make it onto the Jamaican team, then over to Oregon. I think maybe by then she was a bit burnt out, because even like looking at the times that she ran at the World Championships, 11:10 and 11:25, I would have expected more from Kemba. It was home turf. So, she knows Eugene better than any other Jamaican that was there. This is where she trained. This is the university that she attended. So now, what next for Kemba? She is in Jamaica training at Elite. And track is, what I've been saying about Elite. I mean, I'm going to sound like a broken record when I say Ronaldo Walcott is building an army down there. So broken record. So she's there training with the likes of Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price. And I mean, we saw her run again, 10, what was it, 10-8 for personal best. So, and as it relates to her technique, I mean, there are something towards the end, I would say it's more front side running mechanics. There are little things that she can improve, but track is Kemba has a lot working with. So I think that if she stays focused, like she was last season leading into the national trials, where she needed to make the team. If she stays focused, employs some of that same, mental strength and also the physical training, I expect to see her do well again this season. I expect her to turn up at the national trials and give it a fair shot to, again, try to get a place on that team. T, what do you think about her chances for this season? In light of, everybody else making changes in their camps and, new contenders coming in, and the fact that she's no longer collegiate, she's now pro. Has things shifted? Has the wind shifted more positively in her favor, or are you not certain yet where things stand with her?
Um, what I will say is that for me, Kemba and Brianna are pretty much similar athletes. And in that sense, they also, you know, have similar issues. Uh, Kemba's technique, overall is better than Brianna's, in terms of, just her form kind of thing. So, with that said, if she has the same issues, then she'd be looking to
I,
work in.
I I disagree about the form. I just wanted to throw it out there. I just want to say the endurance, but not the form. I think Brianna has very good form. See, that crumbles towards the end of the race, mind
No,
you,
but
but
that's
I
part
still
of
think
you
she has good
executing your
form.
technique. So if your technique falls apart, then you're not executing.
Okay.
So right. So pretty much they have to work on the same issues. As I did say, I don't believe Kemba's issue is as bad as Brianna's, or it's worse than kind of thing. But I think they'll be working on pretty much the same things, getting stronger towards the end of your race and executing through a full 100 meters. So for this season, what I expect to see from Kemba is just taking it a step further, cementing herself in that 10-8 range. We may see something faster. I'm not sure yet because it's always easy to say an athlete can run 10-7, but just getting up and running 10-7, it's just not it's not that simple.
She
So
has
I would
Shelly-Ann
rather see some
Price as a training
consistency.
partner.
Right. I would love to see some consistency in that 10-8 range. I don't want to see a one-off 10-8. I think for next season, I definitely want to see Kemba be a more consistent 10-8 runner. And I think that will, if she gets to that point, I think she would have one grasp on a spot on the team to the world championships. As it relates to who gets that spot at the end of the day, obviously we have to wait and see, how each athlete is performing, because as you know, they're athletes, things happen that set them back. We're not really hoping for it, but it's a part of life. So we'll have to see day by day or week by week how each athlete looks. But just going from what I see so far or saw this season or last season, for sure, if she's building on that, then she's just gonna be a stronger Kemba. Um, as I said, I think her technique is not necessarily bad because she was at MVP, so she had that training before she went over to Oregon, and now she's back, in Jamaica at Ronaldo Walcott. That's also somebody that would have taken, I suppose, his training from the best kind of thing. So, and we saw how much he was able to improve Shelly's technique, right? So with that base and that structure already in place, slapping that onto Kemba with some more endurance, we got athletes have to watch out. This is serious business. They're gonna have to watch out.
Right. And just one thing for me, I just wanted to throw it out there that for me, for Kemba, it's not so much about the endurance, but more so the inconsistency. She tends to go like, up and down, cyclical almost, in her run from race to race. For a lot of athletes, like even if you compare Brianna, she's very steady. Now, what I want to see from Brianna is improvement, but she's at pretty much steady race to race. So for Kemba, definitely working on ensuring that she doesn't like her races don't
Yeah,
fluctuate so
yeah, like I said,
significantly.
being a consistent 10-8
Mhm.
sprinter. That's what that I think that's what they need to work on, improving our consistency. Because once you become consistent in running a particular time, then you can look towards breaking through that barrier into the next barrier kind of thing. So I'm not gonna just jump in and say, hey, I see Kemba running 10-7 next year. No, for
At
what I
least in her
want.
right, at least in her training races, given that we know she's capable of running 10-8s, I
Mhm.
would expect, one, those development meets, training races, whatever. I'd expect at least 10-9s consistently leading up to the trials, at least. I mean, open your season wherever, but get down into the 10-9s early.
Well,
That
this
will
is
tell
my
us where she's at.
what if they're going off the blueprint what they use for Shelly? It means that there's no such thing as you don't have to wait until championship to run fast. We Shelly started her season running fast kind of thing. So if Ronaldo Walcott is working off that same thing for the rest of his sprinters, then expect them to come out running fast as well. Don't expect them to just sit back and be like, okay, we're gonna peak for championship, or whatever was typical. I'm not expecting it from them, because if I'm looking at Shelly, she hasn't been doing what we've come to traditionally expect, right? So with that said, I mean, from the get-go, we could see them solidifying her 10-8s from the get-go.
Okay. Okay, well, track is, I think that sums up Kemba. Just one more individual that stands a fair chance of making the team to the World Championships. We're excited to see what this year's racing has in store for her, and we want to see her hit the tracks to kind of assess where she's at. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Is Kemba's spot on the team a done deal, or can Brianna come back in and come back in and reclaim that
Or will somebody
automatic
else sneak
fourth
in?
place spot? Or can somebody else give one of the twins? We don't know. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. uh I'm Tam. Is there anything else I need to say to you?
No, that's
Okay, we'll catch you in another one.